Yoru being a yandere wasn't exactly on my bingo card, but I'm not exactly surprised either. Hello everybody, it's Eternal I'm sorry. What's up guys? That guy with a pencil here, but fat. I do it too. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact, I will consume enough flame content and I can replicate his voice. I'm gonna do it. I have the hello everybody. I've actually, it's so fun. I hit someone with that in real life, and that's the thing. Flame's voice is just within my range. So when I did that to someone in real life, they were like, "What's wrong with you? That's not you, but it doesn't sound that far off." And I was like, "Yes, perfect." So you will be downloaded, Flame. I promise you that. But with that being the case, man, Denji, bro. Like. And here's the thing, I can't even give him the excuse that he's a dumb teenager with no experience, because, like, this is a full-grown man, y'all. like, he's not a teenager. Like, he was, what, 19? Like, and I know, you know, your brain doesn't fully develop for a long, long time. In fact, it never really fully develops. Like, the whole, your brain fully develops when you're 25 thing. Like, that's not actually the case. Like, it just reaches, quote-unquote, no, that's, like, the average for complete development, yada, yada, yada. But, like, Denji, man. She literally told you she was an evil creature that represented... What? No, she literally said, "I am war." She was not subtle about the fact that she's a terrible person. And Denji, you've been doing terrible person things, gang. So, like, I get it. But you know what? Here's the thing I do like about it. Even if it is Denji being, you know, not the sharpest chainsaw in the shed, if you will, I like that he still, in spite of presumably Asa's, or in this case, Yoru's, persistent attempts to break him down, not just so he's more dog-like and obedient, but also just so he is more D-like in general. That's what a lot of people have been pointing out in the comments, and seems to be an overarching theme of this part of the narrative, really breaking Denji down and asking, well, who are you? If being Chainsaw Man, the hero, wasn't enough, and if having a happy family wasn't enough, you need a new goal, then how far does that road go? How far down the wagon can Denji fall, really? Like, what's the point where we kind of lose who Denji was as a human being, and he really truly just is Chainsaw Man, the concept? And even then, how far does that go to the point where maybe he doesn't even want to be Chainsaw Man in the traditional sense anymore, like the hero? And it shows that Denji still does have the good, proper, heroic tendencies inside of him. It's just that whenever he's with Asa, he doesn't really think about it. Or in this case, Yoru. It's mostly Yoru. But, like, whenever he's with them, it just doesn't click until an opportunity directly presents itself. Notably, when it was just him and Yoru, with no direct opposing force other than randoms, he didn't care. He was just like, yeah, sure, whatever, let's do it. He didn't necessarily have a regard for the sanctity of human life. But since he was actively engaged in saving somebody, and went to a person that cares about him and that trusts him in a sense, he was vulnerable again. He let that trust out, ultimately to be viciously and violently betrayed by a creature who warned him that, yeah, I don't really care. In fact, the continuation of human life is kind of antithetical to me. I appreciate violence and conflict. So I do like it for what it does. It's essentially like a shock awakening to Denji, who was slowly but surely being lulled into this really, really, at least in my opinion, really, really unhealthy sense of security and trust in a being like Yoru. And Asa was even falling down the rabbit hole a bit too, where she admittedly took control back, but only for a little bit before immediately getting retaken over again. So, like, there is this idea, and it's why I made last week's poll talking about who do you think the final antagonist is going to be? Is it going to be Yoru? Is it going to be Death, who hasn't actually gotten a name yet? Like, we have Fami, the Famine D, we have Makima, and we have Nayuta, the Control Ds, and we have Yoru, the War D, but we don't actually have a name for Death yet, which I wonder if is purposeful? Like, I'm not saying, like, their name reveal is going to be a big thing. Like, we know what they look like. Like, obviously, I don't think we're going to get a name drop and it's going to be like, oh, this is that. But I do wonder if we're ever actually going to get, like, a name, or if they're truly, and especially considering Death, at least in this incarnation, as they mentioned, their feelings towards humanity and their interest in keeping them alive is specifically based on their current incarnation. I think it is appropriate that they ultimately do end up getting a name eventually, because that'll help differentiate them, because they are simultaneously the abstract embodiment and fear of death, but they still are a person with, like, their own thoughts, ideas, and wants and needs. So it'll be interesting to see them get a name. But ultimately, all that being the case, I like the conflict that Yoru proposes as a character for both of our main characters. And I suppose Yoru is, like, of the main trio. Technically, she definitely is. But she truly is the person who's been dragging both of our characters down. And notably, she's been doing it in a way that they don't even really realize it being dragged down until it's directly forced in front of them. We had the moment during the Aging D arc where Asa was hit with the revelation, wait, yeah, Yoru's a D. A big D. She's swinging it everywhere. That's horrifying. It didn't really click because she was being lulled into this false insecurity. Same thing with Denji, which we saw at the end of the last chapter. Just by seeing Yoru's real nature, this time not presented in a fun, lighthearted way, but in a, hey, I don't care about human life at all. You're trying to save that person? I'm the only woman you need. Like, that moment, Yoru is playing a similar role for both of her main characters, and I really, really like that. But, of course, enough yapping about the current contextual state of the narrative. Let's hop right into chapter 200, I almost said 222. Chapter 202, D combination. I'm so, like, I definitely can say what they actually are. In fact, I've had many Freudian slips before and just straight up blurted out whatever the real word is. But, like, maybe I do gotta find something other than D. I know it's the juvenile in me. There's like, but still, the big D. And, like, especially when I wouldn't even say death, I'd be like, the big D? That's not right. But let's see. I love the stance here. Just like, huh? Let's see. Are you mad? There is no way yours rage baiting Denji right now. Are you mad? Do you want to come at me? How old is Asa? Google. It's Googling time. She's still in school, but the thing is, so is Denji. I have no idea how their system functions. Asa Mitaka. There we go. Asa Mitaka age. Between 15 to 18. I'm making that joke. I'm risking it. That's too much variability. But you know the joke I was trying to make. But ultimately, I do like that Yoru is not necessarily worried that Denji's mad. In fact, she's excited by it. And once again, it plays into what these creatures are fundamentally about, right? She wears a human skin. In this case, quite literally, she was a bird that transformed. But of course she loves the idea that Denji's mad. The idea that Denji wants to come at her. Because she's war. That whole idea of conflict is the basis of her being. Ultimately, it's why I found it even interesting at all, and of course, you can definitely blame it heavily on being in a human vessel, but I found it interesting at all that she would want what would be considered a stable relationship in any sense. Whether it be, I get why she wants a stable relationship with Asa, so she can keep the body, but for someone like Denji, I'm shocked she would want something like that, because for all intents and purposes, chaos and conflict is kind of what drives her, and it's why I ultimately do think Asa said the world that Yoru wants and envisions is worse than what death would have, because it would be a world of endless conflict, no matter what. But in this case, no one would ever be freed from that conflict because death would be consumed by Chainsaw Man and be erased, and thus nothing could die. So, like, I don't know. It is interesting, and I like that. Ultimately, despite what I would say Yoru having undergone a fat, and I mean fat chunk of character evolution. Part 2 is now much, or is not much, but longer than part 1 at this point. Interesting. But despite Yoru having undergone a pretty fat, juicy, thick, and hefty chunk of character development, those base instincts, her nature is still a consistent highlight. It's being warped in different ways, like the whole yandere aspect of her connection to Denji, but at the same time, that base core, that core of violence, that core of conflict, keeps popping back up. Just in case you as the reader tend to forget that she isn't truly just a character. She is a living embodiment of the fear of a concept based entirely in conflict. But let's see what Denji has to say. He's gripping up right now. He wasn't gripped up before. He grips up now. Is he about to... Oh, is he activating the chainsaws? Let's see. Oh. Okay, so it looks like we don't get to see... Oh, is this meant to be... It looks like this is meant to be Denji. I want to say this is Denji. Yeah, because it has to be. I think, because I don't think this would be Fixo Man. But Denji doesn't even get a chance to respond. She bangs in the general direction of Fixo Man, and he does dodge. So, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, we've seen that he's been able to deflect her bangs, and he's able to dodge them. Very, very impressive. Like, once again, Fake Summon did get, like, an arm removed by Denji, but then again, he was playing a 2v1. And still, I think this is the first character since aging to just actually just fully negate those. We've seen Pochita eat them from Makima, but, like, outside of that, the bangs have kind of been mostly not, like, omnipresent or anything, but they've been extremely powerful. And even, admittedly, the super bang that was sent upon aging from the thing that was stored in the Statue of Liberty, they had to, like, start using their hacks in order to deal with that. Not necessarily just their raw stats. But Fake Summon is able to deflect them and now dodge them at a relatively point-blank range. Like, admittedly, he's drawn a little bit closer here than it looks like he actually was. He does look like he was a decent chunk away. But still, he dodges that at probably, like, a less than 10-foot distance, which is very, very impressive. Especially considering his size and scale. Like, well, then again, obviously, you know, superhero manga, superpowers and stuff like that. So size and scale doesn't really matter. In fact, typically, the bigger and beefier you are, unless extra conditions are being met or placed upon you, you actually are usually faster in anime for some reason. Power typically, it's gotten to the point where I'd say power correlates to speed so much that the series kind of has to go out of its way and explain that power doesn't correlate to speed, because power and speed correlating is basically the standard. I think Dragon Ball set that up all the way back in the Namek Saga with Vegeta, and then every other battle mangaka ever was like, hey, my characters are powering up, they get it faster too, huh? I think of it with Oda, I think of it with Kubo, I think of it with Nakaba, I think of it even with Kishimoto. Like, it is a very consistent theme in all of at least like the stats and scaling aspects. The faster the characters are, or no, the stronger the characters are, the much faster that they get. There are some delinks and decorrelations, but those are typically given like extra context. Like, Yamamoto isn't as fast as certain characters, not necessarily because he's weak, but because he's old. And who else? What's an example from, you know, I was about to say One Piece, but like a series I actually read. There are other characters who have like certain limitations just based on their build and stuff like that, why they can't move as fast. But we have Fake Summon out here dodging and banging at point blank. Very impressive. Let's see. Okay. Slices some debris in half. Okay. And then Denji immediately goes in for the follow-up anyway. So, right. Even if he does have mixed emotions on Asa right now, or in this case, Yoru, he does still know who the greater threat here is at this point. It still is Fake Summon. Fake Summon needs to be executed before he can deal with Yoru. And ultimately, the thing with Yandere Yoru, is she still clearly wants, if not needs, Denji. Notably, I'm assuming the main reason she's still attacking him and not even remotely instigating conflict against him is because even she knows she likely can't beat her sister permanently. Only temporarily. Meaning that ultimately the cycle would just keep on continuing. Death would just keep coming back. So ultimately, Denji, through his connection to Chainsaw Man, is the solution to that. So she ultimately needs him. But let's say he lunges in through the debris after the debris is slashed. Let's see. That's the thing, man. But then again, he is in midair, and it's hard to react to things in midair. But darn, man, 2-for-1 special. Same move, you got doubled sawed on, bro. Literally got sawed off. No Spagooter. No shot Spagooter. That is crazy. But all right, interesting though that Denji only goes for the arms. Maybe that's all he could manage, but wow. There's a lot of juice flowing out of that thing. What's that thing look like? I don't actually want to think about what it looks like too hard. Like, actually, no. I was like, what is it? What is this thing? No, let's not let the neurons fire on that one. But still, very, very impressive for Denji being able to, a character with the ability to react to and smack away and even block bangs, or at least eat them, getting viciously diffed by Denji. Very, very, I mean, obviously it's a 2v1, but still very, very impressive for Denji's AP, and honestly, his genuine speed. Just considering, like, at least for a little bit, he hasn't really done much as Chainsaw Man. It was mainly just all Pochita in the true Chainsaw Man form. Which I guess you could say maybe it is like a whole supersonic, base sonic thing, where the more and more powerful the super form gets, the more and more powerful the base gets. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe Pochita Black, if you will, is the evolved form of Chainsaw Man, the hybrid state that Denji uses, and ultimately all the extra experience and battle knowledge and like actual muscle memory, because remember, Pochita is ultimately using Denji's body as the basis of that. It could hypothetically allow... Where was I going? It could hypothetically allow Where was I going? No. No. Thought come back. Thought come back. I was going so smooth. Slashes off the arm. Denji cooking. Oh no, like it is really just the example, you know. The evolved state ends up inversely empowering the de-evolved state because of like exposure. Once again, like I said, it is truly the effect where someone else. Oh, see, that's a spoiler for God of High School, so I don't want to go into that. But there's a moment where there's a very high level version of a character, and they grind up their stats a whole bunch, and then they get a weaker version of that character. But notably, it's the inverse, where the weaker version of the character trains a whole bunch, levels up to the moon, and then transforms into their old prime variation with all the training from their weaker variation, and essentially drastically amps even their strongest self. That's the same case here with Denji possibly, but it's inverted, where he is getting amped and getting stronger and faster and getting sharper blades, very specifically because of Pochita using the body for a while. Because when you think about it, Denji, for all intents and purposes, should be pretty rusty. It's been a while since he's done something like this, but he's able to deal with Fixoman pretty easily, someone who's able to react to and dodge bangs. Admittedly, once again, with setup, while Fixoman is in midair and probably unable to dodge effectively or defend himself, but still, very, very, very impressive combat feat for Denji. I like it a lot. But let's see. That's the thing, he took both arms, too for what special got. But let's see. What? Did you fake that disagreement to throw me off guard? I don't think they thought that far ahead. Let's see. Nope, this chick's just that nuts. It's like Denji. Well, then I meant, like, I don't know. I always say that I'm down bad, and I am. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, but never this down bad. Like, and then again, I think I'm just weird. Because I hear a lot of people say, oh, I love crazy women are this, crazy women are that. And of course, this is coming from a guy who is attracted to women. But like, I don't get it. Like, I don't like dealing with crazy people in general. Why would I want my life partner to be a crazy person? Like I don't know. Like, what does it do for you? What pleasure does that bring? I don't know. I don't like the idea of my partner being crazy. But people are into it. Dandy's clearly into it, and I've just seen it. People like them crazy. Apparently, people do crazy things, and crazy things are well loved by people. But me, I don't know. Maybe because I'm basically nuts. At least in my own mind, on occasion, I'm like, I don't need double the crazy. I got enough crazy myself. Let's see. But I do like that though. Like, Fixoman tries to rationalize it, and Dandy's just like, no, we truly did not think that far ahead. Ah. It's getting cold. It's time to head home. Die. Oh? But, like, this is the thing. We still don't... I mean, I guess we do know what Fixoman is, but we still don't really know what Fixoman is, so I doubt he's about to get boomed. We're still too early in the chapter. Let's see. Bang! Oh. Huh? How did he do that? Those are, the Fixomans, right? Or at least I can tell by the blaze sticking out of their head. Did he, like... summon them to go? Like, where'd they even come from? Were they around? I mean, I know I guess they technically were, but all right. Huh. And the bang does stop at them. It does stop right at them and doesn't end up hitting. So the bang does seem to be, and I guess it makes sense that it is a travel thing. But I remember there was, at least in the early days of Chainsaw Man Crossverse, there was a lot of debate on whether or not bangs traveled or not, because like it was a big idea, like, hey, how does Makima beat Gojo? And a lot of people would say bang, but people would be like, bang travels, and they'd be like, no, it doesn't. But I guess this is a clear case of bang traveling, because if it didn't, even with the people leaping in front of the way, he would have just been boomed. But he wasn't boomed, so it seems like it's not instantaneous. It does actually have some travel time, but darn, boomed all these people. Jeez, which one do you get? Extra creepy with it. What's it? Oh shoot, where? Oh, interesting though. So we do have multiple levels to it. We have these guys who don't have the full size mutation, where they have like the extended chainsaw arms. And I do remember they were all made by the Flame D in particular. So maybe it's different levels of like fires of passion burning for Chainsaw Man, I guess. But hold on, let me move further into frame, and I sit. I do that just have to try to reach the keyboard. Wait. Yeah, baby, we're making this work. But let's see. Boom. All right, so yeah, there seems to be levels to the stuff. So maybe it's an exposure type thing. The longer you are a devotee to the Chainsaw Man Church and stuff like that, your extending blades grow this long. Because I don't think, unless I'm mistaken, we've only seen them with like the head blades, maybe like little mini blades popping on their hands. But especially no, like everyone here, except for maybe this guy, but he may even have it too. Everyone here has the fully extended blades coming out of their body, which is very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. Oh. What is happening? She's giving them a hug? Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, at this point, you might as well just boom them all, one by one. Like, in fact, I wonder, does Bang, like, what is the energy source in this universe? Is it just, like, regular food? Like, how much energy does it take to make a Bang? Can you just not spam it? Let's see. Ah! What's happening? Oh, wait, is he gonna eat him? I'm trying to call D combination. Wait, is he gonna eat him? Oh, okay. actually, it's actually kind of funny. I actually like that. I like that. They latch onto him, but since they can't actually fuse into him, it's like a really poor Megazord. I'm not sure what it's actually called in Super Sentai. I grew up on Power Rangers, but like it's like a bootleg little Megazord. They all just hold through the power of friendship and bonding. They'll just hold onto each other in order to be his new arms. But like, he could probably still cut those people loose, or at least grab some of them and make them free. At least if I had to hazard a guess. But let's see. Full human meat shield. 3 for 3. Wait, Fujimoto. Ew. Fujimoto. Why? Me too. You know what? Me too, Yoru. I think we don't agree with Yoru because I think she's a really bad person. But like, yeah. Gross. I mean, I guess he has, but that's interesting. I guess because we know he has the Justice D inside of him, right? But I guess he may also have the Flame D inside of him. I'm assuming that's what gives him jurisdiction over the Chainsaw Man Church people, to the point where he can absorb them into his body and turn them into new. That's very nasty. Very not, and notably, it's not even like a 3. It's not even like a proper hand. It's a 3-fingered one. Very, very amalgamous, very morphy, very goopy. I know in the 10 years when this gets animated, it's gonna look really, really freaky. Let's see. Oh, gross! Hey, Chainsaw Man. What? they are relatively chill about this. Like, yeah, just so you blorp people. What's happening? What? Be honest with me, mate. Be honest with me, gang. Cutting down strangers doesn't pain you, right? But can you buzz through people pleading for your help? Okay. And once again, I'll admit I like that. As little as we've gotten of Fake Sunman, really, this is like the longest run we've had of him. He's just been a phantom character popping in and out of the narrative for a while. I like the mirror he holds up to Denji as well. Kind of like the role I mentioned earlier for Yoru, where we get to see Yoru reflect herself back on the people that she's bonded with and see how that affects them and their emotions towards her. We get to see the inside of... We essentially get to see not just the inside of like Chainsaw Man the hero as a concept, but like Denji himself, right? Because ultimately, it's like the whole Bruce Wayne is the mask, Batman's the real Bruce Wayne. No, both can be true in the same case that the that's that in the same sense that the Fake Saw Man. What is happening? This is what happens when I record an EP, bro. Where are my thoughts going? Think. Cutting down strangers doesn't pain you, right? But you buzz to people pleading for your own help. Essentially, making Denji question his own morality as a person and as a hero is a really, really good way to play with the conception of another copy. It's very, unironically, it's very albedo. For all my Ben 10 fans out there, it's very albedo coded, where ultimately he acts as this mirror to our protagonist by wielding the same abilities in a different way, but definitely clearly a lesser way, and using that human vulnerability as a weapon. Once again, showing his lack of understanding for like humans and their beliefs, but at the same time, his understanding of them to the point where he knows how to manipulate them. And we know Denji, despite his many, many abilities and powers and talents, he's not really a D1 gaslighter. a D1 gatekeeper, a D1 girl boss. Like, he's not like that. So, Fake Man playing this angle, the direct opposite of the brutish angle, I guess. I like that. I like that. Once again, Fujimoto's doing a fantastic job of mirroring these two characters, just considering this is the first time they've really ever met. This is the first time they're chilling. Let's see. He's gonna be blurred, bro. He's gonna be blurred. But interesting though, by being absorbed into the biomass, I suppose you do become one of the biomass, so the chainsaw would be useless. Let's see. It's cold. What the? Where am I? My body. Whoa. Yeah. See, I don't know. This is really good. I do not like. Admittedly, I'm just a big old baby. I'll admit, it is very baby of me. I don't like horror movies. I don't like body horror in particular. Like, the idea of fusing with somebody else is like, oh. Like, unless it truly is like the Dragon Ball fusion dance, Vegeta style fusion, where it is literally just a new guy for a little bit. I don't like the idea of like merging my mesh. Or merging my body and my DNA with somebody else. And this isn't even somebody else. They are merged into a D with like 7 or with like 6 other people on it. That is disgusting. But once again, I like that the Fake Man is playing into that. He's like, Denji, I know you want to be a hero, gang. And I know that pencil's lagging. So. Alright, we're back. For now. But with that being the case, I like how he plays into that, and he's making Denji question himself. Once again, all these characters playing mirrors to Denji in particular. I do hope we get more awesome mirrors, because it really right now is just your. Let's see. Oh yeah, I don't like the idea of being absorbed. And I'm still lagging. Hold on. Cool down. This is, I haven't even been whoa! Oh, that's freaky. That's freaky. Freaky geeky. Hold on a second. Hook me up, Chief. Hook me up. All right. Yeah, we lagging still? Hopefully not. Don't worry. I'm almost done with the review. At least it looks seemingly, because we only got 18 pages. We'll see. But yeah, I don't like body fusion. That's not Dragon Ball fusion. It's just nasty to me. I hate that. And he's fused with like 7 different guys. Let's see. Huh? Ugh! No! Oh my word! What's going on? Gross! Oh, but you know what? I do like that. Ultimately, by absorbing them as new biomass, he ends up freeing them from their idolatry and their mutation, since he needs to use their bodies for himself. But ultimately, he's absorbed them enough to replace his arms. But in this case, since he's trying to test Denji, did not completely absorb them, assimilate them, as I assume he could, to fully replace himself. He only did just enough so they can still scream. He left their lungs as intact, which is even nastier. Let's see. I can't. Huh? Oh, let's see. Did he actually erase their idolatry, or just the result of their idolatry? It's Chainsaw Man! Thank goodness! Save us, Chainsaw Man! Yo, I don't think there's a you to save anymore. I mean, like, he may save y'all, but like, y'all may be permanently merging. I don't know how he could undo that. But interesting. Let's see how Denji plays into this, because this is a tough conundrum. But ultimately, I think Denji will just have to make the utilitarian choice. Like, whoopsie, gang. Guess you shouldn't have done that. Time to give you back shots. Let's see. Oh, save us! Too high! Ugh. Oh! Let's see, Denji. What do you do? You gotta slice him. Ah, no. So once again, because so I'm assuming Asa's gonna have to step in, or Yor. I keep saying Asa instead of Yor, but I think Yor's gonna have to step in and handle this, because Denji's still too conflicted. Ultimately, there is just enough humanity left in him that he can't strike down people, especially people who are asking to be saved. That's the thing. And once again, I do like that moral conflict. I like that he's struggling with it. It's not something that's being completely left behind or completely abandoned by this new anti-character development forum. It is just something that now is a part of his narrative that he's going to have to struggle with. I like that. And once again, I'm interested to see what the end result is, because I do think that Chainsaw Man is wrapping up relatively soon. Like, I could see it ending this year. But I do wonder what Denji's endpoint is at the end of all this. Let's see. Save us! Shave. That sucks. They're still sentient enough to like bleed and breathe. Let's see. Ugh, you scumbag! All right. Sorry for losing my train of thought. I ended up recording kind of late today, so my brain was not on 12. But W chapter, W chapter, W chapter. I'm excited to see what happens. We only got a 7-day, we got a week break in between, so I'm excited to see what's gonna go down. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier XZ, Zara, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Gyomi, Yuki Ally, Buddha Uda, Azo2404, Planet Crone, G Prosper, Nevis 97, and Ollie. I'd like to give a big old thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Nirvana Igneel, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Inc. tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly, Euchia, Carlo Alaimo, and Grim. And then I'd like to give a big old hefty thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. And then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Walkie Munoz and Walkie Munoz. And then I'd finally like to give a giga super duper kidney sacrificing thank you to our ultimate, that guy with a heart on the horizon, Calvin Elder.